NBA superstar Kobe Bryant is not having a quiet offseason. He's in a feud with his mom.
I'm one of the only guys left that remembers your dad as a player. I'm curious how much he's talked to you about this stage of the career.
Unfortunately, we don't talk much.
Kobe's parents didn't speak at the moment. Why do you think that was?
Maybe they didn't want to.
Kobe Bean Bryant had everything this world had to offer. Millions of fans, all the money in the world, a beautiful family, and a legacy fulfilled. Everything but one thing, his parents' love. What run from a tight-knit family that basically did everything together. Even signing NBA contracts became a frigid relationship at best that never mended itself. Even up to the tragedy that befell the world 4 years ago. It all started when he was a 21-year-old in Los Angeles, taking up a rap career among some of the biggest stars of the day. Tyra Banks, 50 Cent, and Nas are just some of the artists that a young Kobe collaborated with. In his own words,
It didn't last long.
but during that brief stint, there's one moment that changed his life. Vanessa Lane was a high school senior who had happened to be stopped at a concert by a company that shot music videos. They asked her to work for them, and a few months later, Vanessa had become a video vixen, even appearing in a music video with Snoop Dogg. Like Kobe, her stint in the music industry was short-lived. She stayed for just 3 months. But before her 3 months were up, she was called for a Kobe Bryant music video. And the rest is history. But that's not what's important here. What's important lies in the background. We've all seen that Vanessa and Kobe's relationship was a very romantic storybook one, It's like love at first sight, then Kobe follows her around the set, and then, she writes down her number on the paper, and then they go to Disney World. So romantic, all of that, right? But the fact of the matter is that Kobe Bryant, as of meeting Vanessa, was a budding star. Winner of the 1997 Slam Dunk Contest, and already a one-time All-Star, and playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, no less. It was obvious that he was the talk of the town. For him, as a 21-year-old, to meet a high school senior on a music video set is one thing, but the pace of the relationship was way too quick. At least according to Kobe's parents. Joe Jellybean Bryant, a former NBA player who at one point in life dunked on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, pretty gas, wasn't too excited about the relationship. One, he was wishing for Kobe to date someone of African descent, a common wish in black households. And two, for Kobe to, quote, slow down and smell the roses. Kobe didn't hear nor heed his father's requests, and after less than a year of dating, at 22 years of age, he married 19-year-old Vanessa in the attendance of 12 people. Kobe's parents were not among those in the audience. From that day on, things weren't right with the Bryant household. When Kobe first started with the Lakers, the whole family moved from Philly to Los Angeles. Joe had said, "We weren't just going to let him come out here by himself. That wasn't how we worked." For 3 years, the family all lived together in Kobe's house until they moved out, a quarter mile away. When Vanessa entered the picture, however, Kobe moved an hour away to be closer to Vanessa's mom. The family argued about whether it was right for Kobe to be so in love with a girl that he just met. This ended up fracturing the family to a severe degree. Per an LA Times article written in April of 2003, Joe had not seen the couple's new house in Orange County. Joe had never met the couple's first child, his granddaughter Natalia, who was born in January. When Kobe's Philadelphia area high school retired his number, his parents sat in one section of the bleachers while Vanessa sat in another section. But what hurt most of all, and the most notorious product that's entrenched in basketball culture to this day, is the aftermath of the Lakers' second championship in their legendary run. Kobe Bryant, in the midst of his championship celebration, couldn't think straight.
Broken at your lowest point?
Well, I had so much going on outside of the game of basketball that people didn't know about, and it just felt good to pull through the season, to come through with another championship. It definitely feels good.
Can you tell us what some of that was now? Are you willing to discuss that?
No, not really. I mean, it was just, it was hard, but
His father wasn't at the game. Kobe had just won a championship in his dad's hometown, and his dad didn't even come to the game. Not even 3 years prior, Kobe was living not even a 5-minute walk away from his dad, the man who taught him to play and showed him all the love in the world.
And I scored not a free throw, nothing, not a lucky shot, not a breakaway layup, 0 points. And I remember crying about it, being upset about it. And my father just gave me a hug and said, "Listen, whether you score 0 or score 60, I'm gonna love you no matter what."
Now, in the city where he made himself known to the world as Kobe Bryant, Philadelphia, his father, who showed him the game, wasn't even there to see his son win the game's greatest accomplishment. That's why Kobe, in the locker room after the finals, was in disarray, even tearing up in the shower. In the midst of his despair, he was handed the Larry O'Brien Trophy, the crowning achievement of basketball. And this is all he could think. It had been such an awful year for me. So hard. I want a father. I want my father. 2 years later, this relationship remained the same. In the LA Times article, he said, "The court has become my psychologist. It's my time to get away from all the hassles and problems. It's my moment." And even still, 2 years later, things were not mended. Per the LA Times article written again in April of 2003, in a playoff series lost to the Timberwolves, Kobe's dad was there at Staples Center, but he didn't wave or call out. He didn't visit the locker room. "My mom asked me to leave him a ticket, so of course I did," Kobe said, his voice dropping. "But I knew he wouldn't come down and see me. He never does." For this same article, Joe was interviewed as a part of a coaching position for a slam ball team based in Los Angeles. In it, unprompted, he started talking about Kobe, saying, 20 years from now, when his own child grows up, he'll understand what I'm doing. When Kobe made a decision to be with someone he cared about, Pam, Kobe's mother, and I decided it was time to back off. That's all it was. When asked why he didn't see his son, he sighed. "It's his life. We've got nothing to do with it," he said. "We've done our job." A few years later, Joe took up a job as an assistant coach for the LA Sparks. And, at least according to the LA Times, it seemed as if the relationship had somewhat defrosted between Kobe and his father. But it was not warm. There was a report of Joe and Pam Bryant attending the 2010 NBA Finals, but not because of Kobe. A wealthy Lakers fan had invited them. Regardless, in 2011, Joe referred to the relationship as pretty good, and so it stood. But all of that changed one April morning in 2013. Kobe put out a tweet. "When you give, and they take, at what point do you draw a line in the sand? Hashtag hurt beyond measure. Hashtag gave me no warning. Hashtag love." It's definitely 2013. I digress. He was referring to his mother, Pam Bryant, who, up to this point, seemed to have a decent relationship with Kobe, at least better than his father's. She had asked Kobe for a home in Nevada. Kobe had offered to give up to $250,000 to purchase the home, but Pam asked for $450,000. Kobe refused, and that's when Pam decided to take Kobe's high school and NBA memorabilia, including the two 2000 NBA championship rings that Kobe had gifted his parents, and gave it to auction in exchange for the $450,000 that Pam had been asking for in advance, plus the proceeds from whatever the hundreds of items would have brought from auction. She did this without Kobe's knowledge, let alone approval. He learned of the items being put up for auction through the news. As you could imagine, that's what inspired the tweet that morning. Per ESPN's coverage of the incident, Kobe Bryant's lawyer had sent a cease and desist letter telling the auction house to call off the sale and to return the items to him. Kenneth Golden, owner of the auction house, says he can't cancel the auction because he's already advanced $450,000 to Bryant's mother and put money into advertising the auction. Kobe's lawyer Mark Campbell said in a statement, "Mr. Bryant's personal property has ended up in the possession of someone who does not lawfully own it. We look forward to resolving this legal matter through the legal system." Yes, Kobe got his lawyers involved, with what seemed to be no communication between him and his parents. The auction company then countered with a lawsuit. Joe defended their actions, saying, "My son gave my wife these items over the years, stating, 'Here, Mom, these are for you.' They'd had the items for a long time, it seemed, and it was a way for them to make some more money. They were able to settle the suit for a payment of $500,000 and cut down the auction from the massive amount of items to just 6. However, 2 of those happened to be the rings that Kobe gave his parents, commemorative of the last time that they enjoyed Kobe Bryant's NBA success as a family. After his stint in Los Angeles for the Sparks, Joe went away and became a head coach for some teams in Japan for a couple of years. During this period, Kobe and Joe never reconciled or even really spoke.
Unfortunately, we don't talk much. You know, maybe down the road that relationship would be better, but right now it's not much of one.
After the fiasco in 2013, Kobe didn't speak to his parents for the rest of his NBA career. In his final game, where he almost poetically had 60 points, he didn't have his father there to love him. In an article covering Kobe post-retirement, Kobe said, "Our relationship is not good. I say to them, 'I'm going to buy you a very nice home,' and the response is, 'That's not good enough? Then you're selling my stuff?'" This is tough, man. His sisters, who he was also close with a long time ago, Sharia and Shea, have learned to accept that Kobe has removed money from his relationships with them. They're very smart, college-educated women, Kobe says. "I'm really proud of them. They were able to get their own jobs, get their own lives, take care of themselves. Now they have a better sense of self, of who they are as people, instead of being resentful because they were relying on me." Kobe's relationship with his parents never seemed to end up mending. Now, 4 years after the tragedy that befell us all, a misrepresented news report brought the family feud to the forefront once again. The 2000 NBA championship ring that Joe and Pam sold all those years ago was being sold again. It was thought that Joe and Pam were selling their son's legacy once more, but really, it was just the previous buyer that was putting up the father's ring for sale. Whatever it sells for, is that the price of a family fractured? The pain and strife in one of the world's most beloved figures? And just as importantly, his family? I don't think so. And it seems like neither do Kobe's parents. Per a statement they made to the LA Times regarding this misrepresented news report, we want to make it unequivocally clear that we have no involvement in this sale of our son's 2000 championship ring. The mere existence of the auction has reopened a deep, painful wound. We seek peace and the opportunity to grieve with dignity. We appreciate your understanding and respect for our family's privacy at this time. Thank you, and may God bless you. And that's all they wrote. Thanks for watching.
Please like or subscribe to KipCom A11.